Welcome to the Lechtich Parsha podcast, where we delve into the Torah's timeless wisdom and uncover uplifting and empowering lessons tailored to the challenges of our generation.
Agun Erev Shabbos Parshas Vayechi. Hope everyone had a wonderful week. Stalin Jarish over here. A hearty, warm welcome to all the newcomers, to all those that are now receiving the publication, the audio. I really hope you enjoy. I hope we all continue growing together. So in this week's Lechtich Acharei, which the title was Reaching the True Kind of Kindness, we've discussed the deeper, more fundamental, truer way of chesed shel emes. As Eden, you look around, there's so many different chesed organizations. There's Hatzalah, there's Tomchei Shabbos, there's Chaverim, there's Shomrim. There's unlimited amount of venues, options and links and pages and websites to help another, for refuah, for yisoimim, hachnasas kala. It's truly unbelievable. More so, we're a nation of Goyim Chasadim, and as we all know, there are times that we experience this. We're Baishanim as well. We do things at Snei Aleches, we do things quietly, we do things when there's no fanfare, not necessarily is there recognition, and that's obviously the highest form of chesed. Being that we are a nation, we are a people of loving to do chesed, let's explore for a couple of minutes what the Torah has to say. What's the real, the truest, deepest, most profound way, as the title is called, the true kind of kindness. What is that? So, in this week's parasha, Yaakov Avinu, as his life was diminishing, his days were dwindling down, he called Yosef and he told him he wanted to be buried in Eretz Yisrael. And the Torah tells us that it was a chesed shel emes. Yaakov Avinu said, V'asisa imadi chesed ve'emes. And Rashi tells us that because there was going to be no payment for Yosef, because he was not going to be receiving anything for this. Why? Because Yaakov was going to die, and you can't receive chesed from a person who died. So therefore, it's considered chesed shel emes. The question is that shortly afterwards, the Torah tells us that Yaakov told Yosef, "Va'ani nasati l'cha Shechem echad al echacha." I'm going to assign you another portion more than your brothers. Now, there's two pshatim, pashut pshat, to understand what it means Shechem echad. What is Shechem echad? So either it means the city of Shechem, or it means that he's going to give an extra portion, an extra allotment of Yerusha to Yosef. So the obvious question is, if so, how was it a chesed shel emes? If Yosef was going to receive, if Yosef was knowing that he was going to receive a tremendous piece of real estate, or he was going to receive a double inheritance from Yaakov Avinu, who was quite a wealthy man, how could Rashi say that this was a chesed shel emes? Seemingly, it wasn't chesed shel emes, because Yosef was going to walk away as a very, very rich, wealthy, happy man. So where was the element of chesed shel emes? Of all these places, I would have thought this is not shel emes. He was receiving something unbelievable, something we would all want. Not chas v'shalom from this way, but a piece of real estate, a whole city, tremendous Yerusha, millions of dollars. Can't say we'd all turn that down. So Rabbi Yerucham enlightens us with a tremendous yesod at the end of Parshas Vayechi, and I'm going to read you his lashon because you can't do better than that. It's golden. Rabbi Yerucham tells us, when a person does a teva for another person, when a person denies, when a person says, I'm okay, don't pay me back for the chesed I did for you, that's not chesed, that's not coming from a good place. Rather, he says that's the antithesis, that's the opposite of chesed. Why? Because Roitzehu, the giver, the one that's quote-unquote the gloimel chesed, the bestower, the giver of chesed, Asher halaz yishar lo eved olam avur tevasei v'alkein lo yikach lem umma. Says the Baruchim that the giver, the gloimel chesed, wants that the receiver should remain to him an eved, a servant forever, and therefore he refuses payment in order to keep this status, to keep this relationship where he's always anticipating, he's always going to have a favor owed to him in times of need. And this is truly incredible. I never would have thought like this. Maybe that's only me, but what an unbelievable pshat. That real chesed is when there's no anticipation, there's no expectation, when it's pure giving for the other person for their own good. And Rebbe says that indeed one should take payment, one should take a gift or whatever it is in the situation, whatever situation it may be, in order to remove any anticipation, expectation of favor for himself. Because only through that is he removing himself, his own feelings, his own agenda, his own ego from the equation, and then it thereby becomes a chesed shel emes, reaching the highest level, the epitome of what true chesed is all about. And that's the pshat, says Rabbi Yerucham, why in our parsha as well, by Yosef Tzaddik, although he got this real estate or he got a double inheritance, that's fine. That's not what's taking away from chesed shel emes. Chesed shel emes is the anticipation. And once Yosef Tzaddik knew that he's capped at what he was going to receive, and there was nothing else to be done, for Yaakov Avinu wasn't going to be around anymore, he's going to be in the next world. So once the anticipation of good, of favor, of what's next, what are you going to do for me now, what favor can you do for me now, when the me is removed from the favor, and it's all about you, that's chesed shel emes. And that's what we learn from this week's parsha, how to attain that level, how to reach that level. And just to end off with a beautiful story that I saw from Ablay Bakst. He's the Rosh Yeshiva of Detroit Yeshiva. When he was a young bacher, he was ill, and the Rebbe Mashkiach, Rebbe Chatzkel, Zechroin Tzadik Levracha, Rebbe Chatzkel Bramsky told him, "Come to my house. The Rebbetzin will make you warm, hot, delicious dinners. The yeshiva's food doesn't have enough nutrition for you, and I think this is what's best for you now. So come to my house." And Rebbe Leib, as a bacher, he said, No, I can't come. He declined the offer. He said, the only way I'm going to come is if I pay. So Rebbe Chatzkel said, no way, you're not paying. Come to my house. There's no payment. And the bacher said, I'm not coming. If I can't pay, I'm not coming. And indeed, he declined the offer and he didn't come. A couple of days passed, and Rebbe Chatzkel told the bacher, you know what? You can come and pay. So we would all ask, how could this be? How could it be that Rebbe Chatzkel would want to take the bacher's money? Rebbe Chatzkel explained to the bacher as follows. He understood, he saw in the bacher's face that he was puzzled, like, you're actually going to take me with my money? How could this be? How could Rebbe Chatzkel have taken payment? Rebbe Chatzkel explained that the reason why Rebbe Leib didn't want to come without paying money is because through his payments for the nutritious homemade dinners, he felt that he was going to exempt himself from his obligations that he owed to the mashgiach. But then, in a moment of clarity, the mashgiach realized that when he was refusing the payment, really what he wanted is that this bacher should remain, quote-unquote, a bal chayv, he should remain in debt to the mashgiach. And because of that, Rebbe Chatzkel said, I realized I wasn't really doing you a chesed, because it was my agenda, it was what's best for me that was the driving force behind it. And therefore, I dafka wanted you to pay, I dafka want your money in order that you should be pater, in order that you should exempt yourself from any obligation, in order that this should be a chesed shel emes. That when I'm giving you these hot dinners, it's because I love you, I care for you, I want your best, I want Yiddishkeit. And therefore, by taking your money, we're removing any expectation, any anticipation, and that's chesed shel emes. This past week, we mourned the Beis HaMikdash, we had a Sar B'Tevis. Boils down to Shechina Begalusa, Hashem's Shechina has no place to reside. And as we know, in this chus of Ahavas Chinam, the Beis HaMikdash is going to come back. So when we strengthen ourselves, when we grow in this area especially, chesed is one of the pillars of the world. Al Shalosh Dvarim Oimdim. One of them is chesed. When we're mechazing in this inyan, and when we continue the amazing work that we're doing as a klal, to the tzibur, to our families, to individuals, to friends, it should be a tremendous schus to Mirz Hashem, bring those bricks, unite them, that we should see the Bnei Beis HaMikdash very soon to come. Have a wonderful Shabbos.
I thank each and every one of you for listening. I hope you enjoyed, and I wish you a wonderful Shabbos.